Well, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being here as part of today's conversation. It's Friday, thank goodness. And today is our Friday Connections. And in today's topic, we're talking about mindfulness. My name is Sinika Wah, and I'm part of Your Clear Next Step. And this is part of our ongoing mission to just make sure that we can have better work days, because at the end of our better work days, we can have better evenings and we can have better weekends. And with that extra time that's better, we can contribute to our communities and help make better communities. So mindfulness is a topic that's top of mind for me right now, and that has been in several discussions and several of the trainings that I've been part of. And as we're thinking about it, mindfulness is a way, it's an approach, right? It's a technique that allows you to be more present and more aware of your current circumstances. And I would argue that in the first couple of weeks of the COVID-19 experience, many of us did not, frankly, want to be more aware of our experiences. Just be delighted to not be part of that conversation. Thank you very much. But as we're continuing to, the states are opening up, businesses are opening up, people are going back to work, or at least back into work in office settings. Hairstylists are opening back up for different conversations. And there's a lot of stuff going on in our society right now. And I think mindfulness is a really great practice to help us make sure that we don't misstep. So it allows you, mindfulness, whichever way you're approaching it, mindfulness allows you to be more present and more aware of your current circumstances. So let's talk a couple tips about why it's good for us. Mindfulness is good for us. It has a ton of health benefits. There's some great research about the things that it can do for your physical well-being, right? Being aware of it, when you're mindful in the moment, you are breathing deeper, and you are noticing even your fullness at a meal sooner, so you're not overeating. You are more rested. You are able to get better emotional well-being, better spiritual well-being, better, as we think about these things, it allows you so many benefits from the physical standpoint, from the emotional standpoint, from the mental standpoint, from the spiritual standpoint. It has its roots, it goes way, way back, and lots of faith practices have practiced mindfulness in terms of meditation or prayer, or just being aware of and grateful for your moment. So lots and lots of good things for you physically, right? People who practice mindfulness live longer. That seems like a good thing, right? People who practice mindfulness, they have richer relationships and they laugh more often. These are good things about mindfulness. One of the other things that I believe about mindfulness is that it keeps you from missing out. When we go through our experiences and we're racing through the day, some of us work perhaps more than we should, or get diving deep into something that we really, really love, but we're so focused on that thing that we love, or that topic or that task that we enjoy, that we forget to stop and be mindful of other things going on around us. Well, with mindfulness, you reduce the risk of missing out on moments. So you're mindful of what time it is. You're mindful of how you're feeling. You're mindful of, is there a kid present asking, hey, mom, can you play? Is there something else going on in that moment? Is there a spouse or a friend who's calling or texting? And you're more aware of that. And you don't run the risk of missing out. If you've ever been on one of those vacations where you were you're perhaps in a place you've never been, and you were so caught up in doing everything and seeing everything that you came back from your vacation needing a vacation. It may be because while you were on vacation, you weren't practicing mindfulness and just being mindful and soaking it in, right? Like the warm sun on your skin. Just soak it in and be present in that moment. And I think one of the other key benefits of mindfulness that is so powerful in our world right now is that mindfulness keeps you from missing someone else's moment or misstepping in someone else's moment. If we are mindful in that moment, if we're mindful of another person, we can prevent ourselves from damaging that relationship by accidentally overlooking something that was important to them, or brushing through or brushing off something that they feel deeply about, or not considering their perspective. There are chances without mindfulness that we can damage relationships almost irreparably when we go barreling through that sort of thing. So if that's what it is, and that's why we should do it, how do you do it? Well, I think the fun part that I've discovered in the research that I've been doing around mindfulness is there's not necessarily one way. You don't have to do it exactly the same way, and my mindfulness and your mindfulness won't look exactly the same. But let me give you some tips. The first tip is that you are looking for an awareness without judgment. especially since there are a lot of women on the call right now, right? It's an awareness without judgment. You don't get to say, I'm aware of how I'm feeling, and that's a bad feeling. I'm aware of how what I'm thinking, and gosh, that was a dumb thing to think. No, it's not judgment, right? It is awareness without judgment of your thoughts, of your feelings, of your sensations, right? What are you feeling in this moment? It involves deep breathing. If you find yourself shallow breathing, or just realizing after you've been working for some minutes that you forgot to breathe, that's probably not a good practice of mindfulness, right? Mindfulness is deep, focused breathing. It's the breathing they teach you in vocal lessons and singing, right? You breathe from your diaphragm. You really breathe. It's focused thinking, thinking about what's going on in this moment, perhaps in a routine expert, what's going on around me, what's in front of me, what's behind me, what's above me, what's near me, what am I touching, right? Being a focused thinking. So you might find that path. It's sometimes a sensory awareness. What do I see with my eyes? What can I smell with my nose? What do I hear with my ears? What can I physically touch? So it's a sensory awareness. What are those sensations going? I think the more we practice it, we will continue to get better at it. And I think because it can improve our health, we should practice it more. I don't think if you do mindfulness, once a week and that's all you do, I don't think that's a bad thing, right? Anytime you can practice mindfulness is a good thing. And I think that the way to keep getting better at it is to make a disciplined habit at it. So find a moment in your days, or make a conscious decision before moving from one task to the next, or when someone enters the room, to be mindful. And when you're being really mindful in that moment, you're stopping and you're saying, wait, I'm not doing 16 things at once. If you did not already know that multitasking is a myth, my friends, you need to know that, because multitasking is a myth. We can't really do it. It's why we don't text and drive. Our brains do not do two things simultaneously. We have to stop the one and move to the other. And sometimes we're really, really fast. So we do that really fast. But mindfulness is when you say, okay, I'm going to set aside the work that I was just doing on my laptop, and I'm going to turn and I'm going to look at you. And I'm going to see what expression is on your face. And I'm going to read your body language. And I'm going to sense how you are feeling in this moment. And I'm going to connect with you as a human. And I'm going to be mindful in that moment. And I'm going to be mindful of my own self. What distractions do I need to keep out of keep at bay? Am I hangry? And so I need to make sure I manage that hunger, angry emotion. But you really practice it in these moments. Find that chance that you can. It's like meta thinking. It's not just thinking. It's thinking about feeling, thinking about your experience, and then really soaking it in. And the more you can be mindful and then reflect on it at the end, the more we have the opportunity to savor those moments and to protect ourselves and others from the missteps that happen when we're careless.